champions hosted the contenders in Saturday evening's top-of-the-table showdown as Paris Saint-Germain welcomed Lens to the Parc des Princes. The champions had lost 3 of their previous 5, whilst Lens had won 4 on the bounce. The task was made easier as Salih Abdul-Samed was dismissed early on, and it didn't take Kylian Mbappe long to capitalise, scoring his league-high 20th goal of the season on the turn. Newly named France captain is now the player with the most goals for a single Ligue 1 side in the 21st century. And within 6 minutes of the opener, Vitinho would add a second, and in some style. Beautiful strike, an assist for the first and scoring the second himself. The Portuguese matches his number of goal involvement from the previous 40 games in the space of a few minutes. And the third would come even quicker. Leo Messi and Mbappe combining beautifully, and the former finishing low into the far corner on the 40-minute mark. 3 goals in 9 minutes. That marks Mbappe's 7th assist for Messi in the league. Messi's 16 for Mbappe is the only combination with more. Given they were a man down, Lens did admirably well after the restart, even then reduced the arrears from the penalty spot after Fabian Ruiz handled the ball in the box. Przemysław Frankowski then sent Donnarumma the wrong way to score in back-to-back Ligue 1 Uber Eats games for the first time ever. It would end 3-1, a potentially decisive victory in a title battle that had looked to be building momentum. Marseille were desperate to return to winning ways when they hosted relegation to SAINT-GERMAIN in the weekend's final game, presented with an excellent opportunity to reclaim second through the combination of PSG's victory and a visit from an ESTAC side that were winless since 2012 against Marseille. Indeed, it took them under 90 seconds to open the scoring. Vitinho turning well and lashing his first Ligue 1 Uber Eats goal high into the roof of Gauthier Gallant's net. Having gone fairly close to a second a few times in the first half, OM did eventually double their lead 5 minutes before the break. Valentin Rongier stealing the ball in the Troyes half and slipping through Cengiz Ünder, who steered the ball expertly into the far corner. To the second 45, and they would increase their previous average of 2.4 goals per game. Seo Kolasinac hitting the bar, and Vitinho on hand with quick reactions for the rebound to turn his first Marseille goal into a first Marseille brace. There would eventually be a fourth, but it would go the way of ESTAC. Mamabelde with a fine consolation in injury time, cutting back inside Issa Kabore and finding the bottom corner. A good day nonetheless for OM as they reclaim second, 8 points shy of PSG. Troyes, meanwhile, are now 10 points from safety. Monaco returned to the Stade Louis II for a match-up with Lorient, perhaps a touch frustrated. They'd thrown away an opportunity to close in on the Champions League spots last time out. They quickly set about making amends, with Crépin Diatta forcing home a deflected Alexander Golovin cross just before the quarter-hour mark. Perhaps not knowing a huge amount about it, but in the right place at the right time. And they didn't have to wait long for their second. Youssouf Fofana, back from suspension, won the ball in the middle of the park and fed Wissam Ben Yedder, who in turn picked out Golovin in the box. And the Russian star would do the rest, firing beyond Vitor Manone for 2-0. Golovin has now been involved in 14 league goals this season, 7 goals and 7 assists, his best total in a single campaign. 10 minutes after the restart, Les Monégasques pulled further clear when Ben Yedder laid the ball off to Kevin Volland, who smashed the ball into the top corner. Perhaps surprisingly just a third of the season for the German, having notched up 25 in the previous 2 campaigns. Those 3 have come in just 5 starts, however. For all Monaco's dominance, it was Lorient who had the final say. Penalty awarded after Guillermo Maripin fouled Serine Doucouré on the very edge of the area. Would be a well-taken penalty by Ibrahima Kone for his 10th of the season, 7th off the bench. But with just 5 minutes left on the clock, it was too little, too late. 30th win for Philippe Clement in his 50th match in charge. Moves his side to within 3 points of second place. Lille coach Paulo Fonseca was looking for his team to do more and talk less when they hosted Montpellier. Portuguese was furious with his players after their 1-0 defeat at bottom side Angers last weekend. His mood wouldn't have been improved when the resurgent Montpellier broke the deadlock. Sweeping team move finished by Isiaga Silla. Low angled shot past Lucas Chevalier. LOSC came out after the restart with renewed vigour and wouldn't have to wait too long before the most likely candidate on the pitch to find the equaliser did just that. Angel Gomez started the move, played it out to Remy Cabella on the left, then dummied his ball in, which landed at the feet of Jonathan David, there to slot home first time and take his season goal tally to 20, level with MBAPPE at the top of the charts. Les Dogs, having found their bite, weren't about to stop there, and within 2 minutes they were ahead. Fit again, Brazilian left-back Ismaili brought on in a half-time tactical switch, conjured up a low hard cross that Benjamin Lecomte could only parry into the path of Remy Cabella and nodded home the easiest of finishes against the team he once won the league with. Lille would hold on for all 3 points and to their 5th place. They collected 17 after falling behind this season. It was time for the effective SR derby as Stade Rennais took on Stade de Reims on Saturday afternoon. A game with a fair amount at stake, with both now perhaps surprisingly chasing a spot in Europe. And they lost their previous 2, but they started the fastest here. Jeremy Doku opening the scoring inside 10 minutes. Already his 2nd foray into the Reims box. He drove a low shot beyond Yevan Diouf. And Doku then doubled his and his side's tally in a similar fashion. And this time, Birger Meling and Arno Kalimuendo doing the legwork, and the Belgian with a fairly simple finish. 2-0 and Rennes in total control after under 20 minutes. Hosts came close to a third on numerous occasions. Eventually found it in the second half. Corner in, initially punched clear, but eventually falling to Arteteat, who forced it home after Guiri had cut the ball back. 3-0 the final score. Rennes remain in the hunt for that final European spot. Toulouse and Lyon kicked off the weekend's action on Friday night. This could well have been a dry run for the Coupe de France final had both sides won their respective semis. Toulouse did their part whilst Lyon were knocked out, but on this evening things would go the way of the latter. Jofinho, making his first start since his January arrival from Botafogo, won a penalty which captain and top scorer Alexandre Lacazette would convert with confidence. 26 goals now from the penalty spot with Lyon in Ligue 1 Aubry's. And Jean-Pierre Papin with Marseille has converted more penalties with the same team. He arguably should have made it 2 minutes later, but failed to hit the target, and Toulouse punished that profligacy almost immediately. Branko van den Boomen with a good volley, parried by Anthony Lopez, but Zakaria Abouklal there to convert on the rebound. Lyon will be the team to get the all-important 3rd goal though. An attack in the 88th minute that looked to have fizzled out, but left-back Gabriel Suazo giving the ball away. And a combination of Lacazette and the unfortunate Logan Costa producing a painful game-deciding own goal. The 3rd successive win for Lyon keeps them within touching distance of the top 5. Brest were looking to steer themselves clear of the relegation zone when they hosted a Nice side still with an eye on the European spots. Aiglon would likely need a win here for that though, and that began to look unlikely as they fell behind after barely 10 minutes. Jeremy Le Douaron expertly heading in Kelly Lala's floated ball into the area. Brest's last 5 goals have now been headers, and that's 7 in 2023, a league high. He's looked for an equaliser, but Marco Bizot was always on hand to preserve his side's lead, on this occasion getting down quickly to deny Melvin Barr after a magnificent solo effort. Visitors kept going but failed to break Brest's stubborn resistance as the home side held on to make it 2 wins from 3. Clermont are somewhat going through the motions as the season draws to a close. They had the chance to close the gap to the top half when they welcomed bottom side Angers to Stade Gabriel Montpellier. Hosts 11th place is a situation Angers could only dream of, but they did extend a rare unbeaten run with an unlikely victory last time out and took the lead inside half an hour here. Adrian Udu returning to haunt his former team with a nicely struck half volley. Only 4 minutes after celebrating with his teammates, Udu would be forced to apologise to them for bringing down Neto Borges in the area. 0-0 stuff. Redron Key stepped up and, despite a cheeky attempt to put him off by the SCO away fans, made no mistake with the penalty. 3 goals from the spot in 3 attempts since the start of the year. Incredibly, another 6 minutes later, he would have another penalty But Cedric Ntunji's clumsy foul on the number 95. Clearly receiving treatment on the sidelines. It was Mohamed Cham who took up the task and just about succeeded in completing the turnaround. Ball somehow finding its way over the net. The goal was a goal. Clermont were reduced to 9 by the final whistle, but nonetheless held on. Angers could have their relegation confirmed next time out. Two sides separated by just 1 place and 2 points in the bottom half of the table faced off as AUXERRE played host to Nantes. Visitors had fought back from 2-0 down to draw with Monaco, but were still winless in the league for over 2 months, and they again fell behind here, giving away a penalty inside 5 minutes. And Jubal stepping up to calmly make it 1-0. Despite seeing far less of the ball after going ahead, AUXERRE still carved out the best chances and were handed a golden opportunity, almost literally. Alban Lafont catching a corner, but then rolling the ball to Senioko's feet. He did well to tip his deflected shot onto the bar, but the ball fell straight to Nuno da Costa for an easy tap-in. So the Canaries would have to fight back from 2 goals down again if they wanted to get anything from the game. They did pull one back after the break. Moses Simon's excellent whipped cross was converted by Mustafa Mohamed. Fine header to set up a grandstand finish, but there would be no second. AUXERRE win 3 successive top-flight games to move up to 14th above Nantes, whose winless run has put them in genuine danger. Strasbourg and Ajaccio faced off in a crucial relegation 6-pointer at the Meno, and it was the home side who would earn a huge chance to open the scoring. Jean-Eric and the Bellegarde brought down in the box. Referee Stephanie Frappard initially unconvinced, but VAR convincing her it was a penalty. And Kevin Gamero then bravely lifting a Panenka past Benjamin Loire to put Le Racing in the driving seat. Particularly brave considering he had scored just 1 of his first 4 with Strasbourg. The hosts' efforts to keep the visitors on their toes would pay dividends in the second half when Habib Diarra collected a loose ball in the box and drove a shot into the back of the net to double his side's lead. Slightly clumsy defending, but well taken by Diarra. First professional goal for the teenager. Despite falling further behind, Ajaccio mustered courage and cut the lead in half through a commendable team effort. Mikhail Barreto driving a low shot into the bottom corner with 15 minutes left. Strasbourg held strong though, and even scored a third at the death thanks to a brilliant individual effort by Yuito Suzuki, twisting and turning past the back line, firing home another debut goal. An important victory for Le Racing, but not one that moves them out of the drop zone. They are though now 8 points better off than a doomed looking Ajaccio. Fairly high scoring week with 32 goals in all. Brest's win over Nice, the only game to contain fewer than 3. Somehow though, no draws, 9 home wins and 1 away win, courtesy of Lyon. That win kept OL in what is beginning to look like a 3-way fight for 5th. It's also looking like a 3-way fight for 2nd after Lens's loss, and perhaps now a 1-horse race for the title. Nantes' poor form has seen them dragged into the relegation fight, where just 3 points cover 14th to 17th. Troyes and Ajaccio look in big trouble, whilst Angers could well be relegated by this time next week. And it could easily happen as they take on the champions, top versus bottom, in the opening game, whilst Lens will look to avoid falling off the podium when they face Monaco.